countrywide, we seem to be confronted constantly with chaos, deficits, hunger, inhumanity, injustice, illness, tragedy, conflict, and I guess at times we could throw in the weather. The list goes on and on and on. Yet, in view of all this, these unfortunate situations, the beacon of light known as Rotary continues to glow and shine brightly and clearly, irregardless of the condition or the location. We as Rotarians are there whenever and wherever possible, and oftentimes even when not possible. How does this happen? One very important avenue for this to happen is leadership. The Rotary Club of Denver, our Rotary District, and its numerous individual Rotary clubs throughout the state, nation, and internationally have had, do have, and will continue to have outstanding leaders whom possess numerous qualities, among which some are conduct business with integrity, transform challenges and difficulties into opportunities, balance knowledge with wisdom, provide humanity with humility, accept and enjoy pleasure with conscience, engage politics with principle, be respectful and responsible, worship with sacrifice, and certainly implement service above self. We today will be thanking and congratulating, along with having some fun, our outgoing and incoming president, officers, directors, committee chairmen, and committee persons, which properly reflected is almost our entire club. Am I inspired? Let me close on a personal note. It is an honor and a privilege to continue to be a member of the Rotary Club of Denver for some 44 years plus. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Jim.
All right, thank you. If we could get your attention, please. We have some great announcements now. It's my pleasure now to introduce the 2014-2015 New Rotarian of the Year. This new Rotarian works tirelessly and always steps up to the plate when asked, has ideas that enrich every committee served on. If I could have someone maybe tap a glass, please. Thank you. I think this person deserves our attention. This person works tirelessly and always steps up to the plate when asked, has ideas that enrich every committee served on, brings a can-do attitude and enthusiasm to everything, is a true asset to our club. Within her first year of membership, she became active on several committees, served as a speaker host for several club programs, organized our Peach Sale Day volunteers in 2014, is active on the World Community Service Committee, orchestrated our committee sign-up member passport giveaway, and has the very important role and distinction of chairing our programs committee in 2015-2016. This Rotarian joined the club March 2014 and is 100% fully engaged. Thanks go to member Debbie Kaufman for introducing this outstanding Rotarian to Denver Rotary. Join me in congratulating our new Rotarian of the Year, Julie Freshman. Come on up. Our last year's recipient, Chris Peters, will be presenting awards to Julie. And we wanted to mention that Julie's husband, Kevin Trainer, is here as well. Kevin, thanks for being here.
I'm shocked. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris. All right, and now it's my pleasure to introduce the 2014-2015 Rotarian of the Year. And what I'd like to do is read some excerpts from the many nominations of this person. And this will be a little bit long, so please bear with me because there's so much to say about this person. Todd, thanks for being here. Last year's recipient, Todd Bacon, will be here to help present. Our Rotarian of the Year's participation has definitely covered all aspects of Rotary's 5 avenues of service. It's hard to know where to begin, but these excerpts, I think, will tell a lot. This person is a Rotarian's Rotarian, a superstar. The Rotary 4-way test is a way of life for this dedicated member. Without a doubt, this member impressed me with their administrative skills in chairing a committee with vision and warmth. Inclusion of new and old members in accomplishing the tasks at hand was impressive. A true friend and role model, one of the nicest people you will ever have the privilege to know. Generously supports both foundations and is a Paul Harris Fellow Plus 2 and a DRCF Silver Fellow and now Legacy Society Charter member. She served on the club's board of directors from 2006 to 2009, has been a high school scholarship mentor for over 10 years, served as the host family for one of our youth exchange students, always there for everything that happens, from hosting and attending social events, 9 health fairs, Shining Stars, to new club charter events, Peach Sale, Branch Rickey, everything our club does. Chaired the World Community Service Committee in 2006-2007 and has been an active committee member for years. Is the proud recipient of our club's World Community Service Greatest Impact and Continuing Service Awards. Recently spearheaded a 3,200 school book donation project for children in Costa Rica. Serves as one of our past president, your Rotary friend to new members. I love this one. Instead of becoming the feather duster after being the proud peacock as president, continued to stay very involved in Rotary. Served as the district secretary for their executive committee from 2009 to 2011. Served as our club's president in 2008-2009. I think you're all knowing who this is. And this person comments, did all women proud. In fact, her husband served as president of his club that same year. Their dual presidency was even featured in the Rotarian magazine. Her unofficial theme that year was, "It's a party." With their vodka tonic and rum and coke email addresses, it is easy to understand. During her year as president, she was well known for sending many way-to-go emails to deserving volunteers with a big graphic, thumbs up. Sponsored several new members, including past New Rotarian of the Year, Valerie Hopkins. But her most outstanding Rotary achievement is when she took on almost single-handedly the Rotary International Peace Corps Partnership. First, she organized a District 5450 committee, found other Peace Corps alumni who were Rotary members, held meetings in her home to get them organized and finding current Peace Corps volunteers to match with clubs for projects, met with outgoing Peace Corps volunteers to get them familiar with the power of Rotary, went to Evanston, Illinois to get the Rotary Peace Corps group recognized as a sanctioned Rotary group, entertained the director of the U.S. Peace Corps, Carrie Hessler Radlett, and lobbied for a memorandum of understanding between Rotary International and Peace Corps. And finally accomplished this goal this year and attended the momentous signing in Evanston in April 2014. The Peace Corps director attended the 2015 district conference along with RI General Secretary John Huco to recognize the MOU and the partnership of these two organizations. This project took hundreds of hours of her commitment, as well as gallons of coffee and hundreds of cookies that she provided to maybe 50-plus participants over the 5-plus years of getting this partnership established. And she got our fabulous visibility, got our club fabulous visibility and representation in Rotary Magazine for the RI Peace Corps Partnership. I'd like to invite our district governor, Peter Ewing, to the stage to help in this presentation. This Rotary's commitment to Denver Rotary over the past 14-plus years and to our local and international communities is really unparalleled. She's raised the Rotary bar to a new standard. Join me in congratulating Rotarian of the Year, Sue Fox. I wanted to note that Sue's husband, Bob Martin, is here, daughter, Amy Stefano, and grandchildren, Paige and Sam. Come on up, Paige and Sam. Yay. Thank you for being here. What a great family. Thank you, Peter, for coming to be a part of this as well. This time what I'd like to do is to introduce and recognize all of our past presidents who are in attendance. And let me just name those, and if I forget anyone, please let me know. Please stand, and we'll hold our applause until everyone's standing. Grant Wilkins, Jim Warner, Tom Rogers, Jim Wilkins, Mike O'Connell, Jim Mack, R.J. Ross, Dick Metcalf, Steve Mast, Bob Kapelke, Bill Houston, Sue Fox, Doug McLemore, Seth Patterson, Jim McGibney, and Allison Clark Hardesty. Did I miss anyone? Thank you all for your... Oh, we do have one more. Oh, Jack? Jack is here too. Okay. Thank you for being here. Sorry. Let me also introduce a couple of special guests. We have with us, as you saw, Peter Ewing, District Governor, about to be past District Governor, I might add, and Foundation Chair Ann Tull. Is Ann nearby? Where's Ann? There she is. Thank you for being here. We also have some guests at the head table. My friend Diane Schindler and my two sons, Wyatt Goddard and Sawyer Goddard, and Andre's wife, Nancy Van Hall. And now at this time, I'd like to introduce, for her last report, Club Secretary Christy Schaefer.
Thank you. Well, as I've been saying all year, happy Thursday, everyone. It's great to see everyone in this summer, wonderful summer weather. So we do have a couple of guests that I'd like to welcome that haven't been introduced so far. Sean Bainbridge is a guest of Chris Peters. Sean, if you would stand up. Good to see you. David Ferguson with Dick Metcalf. Welcome. And then Jessica Snyder, Will Snyder's wife, is here. Welcome. And then he stood up earlier, but we didn't really get to welcome you. Kevin Trainer is here with Julie Freshman. Welcome. I also have some announcements. There are only 5 days remaining for our 50% reduction initiation fee for all new member applications received by the office by June 30th. So get yours in now. Sean? Okay, good. Check. It's not too late to make your donations to both foundations before the end of the fiscal year, which of course is on June 30th. Contact the Rotary office if you have questions or need assistance to make a donation. Don't forget to register for our celebration on the rooftop Thursday evening, July 9th here at the DAC. This event will celebrate the past year, kick off the new year with an alternative to our regular lunch format. Fellowship meeting hosts are needed for our meetings on July 30th. So if you haven't hosted a fellowship, please consider doing that. I know I just went to the one we had last time, and it was awesome. So I really got to know a lot of people better. Again, Rotary Connect, we'd like to thank Brian Geist for hosting this past Rotary Connect. And we will continue with Rotary Connects on the fourth Tuesday of the month, but in kind of taking a little bit of a new format here, we're going to be changing the locations to try and entice some different people from coming from around town. So it will not be at Colorado Hacienda, but I know Lonnie will make many announcements before then, so you know where it is. And with that, I'll turn it back over to President Jim for the final time.
Thank you, Christy. Well, we have a lot to get through today. I wanted to point out that we'll probably go past 1 today, so and we hope to finish up by 1:15. Hopefully you can all stay for the entire presentation. At this time, Todd Bacon, chair of our Memorial Resolution Committee, will be here to present our celebration of life for 2014-15.
Thank you, President Jim. In honor of our members who have passed away during the current Rotary year, I ask everybody to please stand and follow the screen. Rex's sponsor said 62 years ago, "He is extremely likable and a capable young man known to be very honest and dependable." This was true until the day he died. Bill loved Rotary, a renowned CPA in Denver and loving father of 9. He was a brilliant, charming, witty, humble, quiet, and gentle soul who served God and his country and our community. An internationally known ophthalmologist and pioneer in eye surgery, Art started the Denver Eye Bank and was awarded a private audience with Pope John XXIII in Rome. As the former editor of the Denver Post, past club president, and district governor, Bill will be remembered for writing our 75-year history book, and as witnessed by many, he was given a new lease on life when he married Rotarian Sue Davis on his 85th birthday. With uncompromised integrity and his willingness to always be there for others, Peter has the distinction of being our youngest club president and often said, "I first came to Rotary because I had to, until I came because I wanted to." A Denver native, businessman, and dedicated community leader and volunteer, Jim made a difference in the lives of many. One of Dave's Rotary sponsors described our 78th club president as a very gentlemanly kind of person, energetic and aggressive. This combination makes him good material for Denver Rotary, and indeed it did.
Thank you, Todd. Well, as we leave that presentation, it's now time for us to introduce some new members to our club. At this time, I'd like to call Mary Penny and Bill West to introduce our 2 newest members. Mary, are you going first?
Dear fellow Rotarians and guests, it is my profound honor and pleasure to introduce a dear friend of mine, Debbie Beasley, to our club. Debbie originally hails from Decatur, Illinois, and received her bachelor's degree in finance and economics from the University of Illinois. She's a fightin' Illini. During her college years while studying abroad in Salzburg, Austria, Debbie met her husband, Chris, and they've been married now for 30 years. Upon graduating from college, Debbie began her career at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago as an associate economist. When Chris moved to Denver to get his law degree, Debbie soon followed and found a job at United Bank. One of Debbie's most admirable qualities is her loyalty to family, friends, work, and little did she know when she accepted that job at United Bank 30 years ago, she would be there for 30 years as it merged and transformed into what is now Wells Fargo Bank, a Fortune 100 company. This past year, Debbie was named a top performer of her division of over 700 people. This is the second time Debbie has won this prestigious award. Debbie is now the vice president and technology manager. She oversees technical strategies on behalf of the community banking line of business. Over the years, she's been involved in countless computer conversions, integrating new offices into the vast Wells Fargo network. Her role is critical to the security and functioning of thousands of employees and customers. Debbie and Chris are the very proud parents of two sons, Ryan, who recently graduated from Western State University with a business degree, and Charlie, who will be a senior this fall at Colorado State University. The other important member of their family is Teddy, a blind rescue dog. Teddy's lucky to be in such a great home. One of the reasons Debbie will make such a great Rotarian is her volunteer spirit. From 1998 to 2004, she served as a board member of the YMCA. One of her main duties there was to increase the fundraising. From 2008 to 2012, Debbie and her entire family volunteered for the National Sports Center for the Disabled. Ryan and Charlie were trained and assisted disabled skiers on the slopes, and Debbie and Chris helped organize and oversee the operations and various events. The entire family found this very rewarding. From 1999 through 2004, Debbie was treasurer of the Parent and Teacher Association for her son's school. Debbie and her family love the outdoors, camping, hiking, biking, golf, as well as traveling. On her application, Debbie stated she is interested in getting involved in community service projects with a goal of contributing to the good of our local community and to the world. She has already participated twice in the monthly book club meetings, adding valuable insight to the discussion. Debbie has also volunteered to assist our club with its new fundraiser and that Valerie Hopkins is spearheading, and Young Cho has already signed her up for the golf tournament, so she's getting very involved. In addition, Debbie leaves tomorrow for a 3-day backpacking trip to climb to the top of Mount Whitney, over 14,000 feet in California. Go, Debbie. Fellow Rotarians, please help me welcome Debbie Beasley.
And now Bill West will introduce our other new member.
Very happy today to introduce Larry Shermer as a new member of Rotary. Larry was born and raised in North Carolina. I recently discovered from my family history research that he has friends who live in the same town where my ancestors all started, so a little North Carolina. He graduated from North Carolina State with an engineering degree. His work history, first he spent 10 years in glass container manufacturing before he joined the Coca-Cola company in technical operation. And I learned early on that Larry eschews Pepsi product only venues. So I try not to invite him to any of those locations. He later moved into global responsibility for all aspects of glass packaging, including design and development, supplier development, and launches of new packages in both existing and in new markets. So he took on the world from this point. This led to involvement in every type of packaging, resulting in responsibility for all packaging activity for Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean and South America. Then, if things were not challenging enough, he moved to Johannesburg to help revive the Coca-Cola business in South Africa after the end of apartheid. Additionally, his job was to identify and train a local person as his replacement. Both goals were accomplished. As he says, the business and his replacement are both thriving today, 15 years later. Larry retired in 2000 after 26 years with Coca-Cola. He's married to Jolene. They live in Westminster, a close neighbor of mine, and they have 3 young grandchildren, all of them in the Denver area. Besides the Pepsi thing I learned about Larry, I learned that he is a classic car restorer. And the one that drove up on our driveway last week, everybody would dream, our age, would dream of having a 56 Bel Air, and it beautifully redone with all of the new stuff. Anyway, T-Bird I might like better, but that was one fantastic car. The other thing I learned, if you're going to play 8-ball, choose Larry as your partner, not me. Welcome to the club, Larry. Service above self. Larry's been there and is there.
Thank you, Bill. Well, it's my honor to welcome you both to Rotary. Debbie and Larry, Rotary is a worldwide organization of business and professional leaders who provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and help build goodwill and peace. You've been invited to join Rotary Club of Denver to become a member of a service organization that has true global impact. You were selected because you hold in common with our members the values of service, leadership, integrity, fellowship, and diversity. We invite you now to get engaged in service opportunities and start networking with your fellow Rotarians. Once you take those actions, you'll discover the true essence of Rotarians, people who place service above self. Thank you for making this decision to begin your Rotary journey with Denver Club 31. It's now our role to engage your passion, and together we must focus our efforts so that our club can reach its maximum potential. Thank you, Mary and Bill, for inviting and inspiring Debbie and Larry. Fellow Rotarians, please stand and help me welcome our newest members, Debbie Beasley and Larry Shermer. At this time, I'd also like to recognize all of our new members in 2014-15. For those of you who are here who are new this year, please stand and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you and welcome again. I'd like to thank Mark Donovan for all of his work and membership, and we'll be thanking him again, but it's great to see so many new members. Now, we are about to recognize our club leadership for this past year. I'd like to invite Christy Schaefer and Sandy Purcell to the stage real briefly. Christy, come on up. Sandy, are you here? There you are. Christy's been our secretary this past year, and Sandy Purcell is our continuing treasurer. He's going to continue for the next year. So I have just a couple of things for you. Let's give them a round of applause. Now I'd like to ask our officers to stand and remain standing while we recognize you as a group. President-elect Andre Van Hall, First Vice President Pam Adams, Second Vice President Mike O'Connell, Sergeant-at-Arms Will Snyder, who will be continuing, immediate past Chair Allison Clark Hardesty, and our outgoing directors Pam Adams, Wynn Gandera, Mike O'Connell, and Christy Schaefer. Thank you all for your service on our board. And as officers. We also have continuing directors I'd like to acknowledge. Rick Bauman, Larry Gloss, Rich Harris, Valerie Hopkins, Jim Johnston, Don Lewis, and Giles Paulson. They are continuing as directors. Are you all here? Please stand. Now, as you know, we have a long list of standing committee chairs and subcommittee chairs, but let's have them each stand as well for their service this past year. Club service, Jim White and his subcommittees, history, John Stewart, district awards, Charlie Miller, attendance and club recognition, Jim White and Sandy Adams, memorial resolutions, Todd Bacon, family of Rotary, Sue Davis Hornsby, communications committee, Valerie Hopkins. She's going to be stepping down after 3 years, and Todd is stepping down after 4 years, I might note. Meetings, Jim Mack, Blessing Inspirational Moment, Lonnie Langton. Registration Table, Nancy Austin. Fellowship Meetings, Don Caney. Audiovisual, Doug McLemore. Membership, Mark Donovan I mentioned, who is going to be stepping down after 2 years. We're going to miss you, Mark. New member orientation, Carter Sales, stepping down after 3 years. We're missing you as well. Past presidents, your Rotary friend, Jim Warner. Connecting Colorado Schools, Rotary Broadband Project, Harriet Downer. Rotary Foundation Support, Don Lewis. Social Activities, Debbie Kaufman. World Community Services, Mary Penny, who is stepping down after a year of service. Youth Services, Scott White. He assumed this role mid-year. Thank you, Scott. College Counseling, Chuck Everill and Jerry Middle. Denver Center for International Studies, Dan Lutz. Interact Club, David French. JADCIS Team Teaching, Christy Schaefer. High School Scholarships and Community Resources, Win Gandera. RILA and Youth Exchange, Scott White. Scholastic Arts Awards, Todd Bacon. Shining Stars, Jim Wilkins. Vocational Scholarships, Todd Kraft. I know this is a long word. Youth Recognition, Youth Exchange, Scott White. Club Fundraising, the 2014 branch, Ricky Award, Charlie Miller. Charlie, are you here? I want to be sure to recognize you. You really did a great job this year, and thank you. In its final year, I think it was wonderful to have you there. And 2014 Peach Sale, Kyle Henderson, stepping down after 3 years leading that group. Rotary Projects and Partnering Organizations, 9 Health Fair, Holly McLemore. Denver Kids, Inc., both Jennifer Nealon Andrews, COO and interim CEO these past 6 months, and now Joe McCloskey, new president, CEO, effective July 15th. We're looking forward to meeting Joe. And Project Cure, Chuck Pell. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you for your service this year. And I want to note to our new members, as you can see, there's lots of places to become a part of our service project. And now the Rotary office team I'd like to congratulate and thank. Please come up, Darlene, Lauren, and Steve, are you here as well? Let's give them a round of applause. Lauren, you have to come up here to get your flowers. So. Sorry that you're so shy, but I can't tell you how much work these folks put into supporting all of us. It's fabulous. You've all been just tremendous to work with, and I've enjoyed all of it. I don't think I would have been a club president if we didn't have a staff like this. It's really a different atmosphere, as you can imagine. Thank you all. I think all past presidents will agree with me in terms of how much work they do and how they help a president. I'd also like to thank our Assistant Sergeants at Arms, hospitality team assisting Will Snyder at the door. Jay Yake and Sandeep Kapoor, thank you all for your help this year. And all our many Rotarians who man the registration desk each week. Let's give them a round of applause. And let's also thank all of you who've served on committees this year. This has been a tremendous year. Thank you. I wanted to mention 3 other groups that I called to service this year who made very important additions and made decisions and lots of recommendations this year for us. Our 2014 Strategic Planning Committee, Pam Adams, Alice Bullwinkle, Allison Clark Hardesty, Mark Donovan, Jack Green, Jim Johnston, Don Lewis, Jim Mack, Darlene Mast, Charlie Miller, Mike O'Connell, Sandy Purcell, Christy Schaefer, Will Snyder, Andre Van Hall, our Goal 1 Focus Task Force, Sid Brooks, Jim Johnston, John Klug, Darlene Mast, Melinda Quiet, R.J. Ross, Chuck Turner, Andre Van Hall. That group did some tremendous work with our foundation and great coordination. And our 2015 Club Futures Task Force, which is continuing with the leadership of Francie Anhut and Sean Gatson as co-chairs. And it includes Rick Bauman, Mark Donovan, Larry Gloss, Valerie Hopkins, Jim Johnston, Chris Peters, Christy Schaefer, Andre Van Hall, Diana Y., and we've also recruited Sandy to help us out with a lot of financial information. Let's give all of them a round of applause as well. And now, I think we've almost caught up on our agenda. It's my pleasure to bring up our president, about to be past president, DRCF Foundation President Alice Bullwinkle, who is going to make the transition to our DRCF president, new president, John Klug. So this protocol is something that we do every year. As you all have been here and heard the wonderful work of our foundation, Alice went through this last year, and at this time, she is going to be passing the gavel along to John.
I think you all are going to be well served by John. He has served our club in so many important ways, bringing health care to his new vacation area in Mexico, contributing immeasurably to our EagleNet project. He was chairman of Branch Rickey, and this year he chaired our grants committee. So I'm happy to turn over the responsibility of the Denver Rotary Club Foundation to John.
Well, Alice, thank you for your help this past year. You have been a wonderful mentor, helper to me, teaching, guiding, and preparing me for this responsibility. And so much like Alice, even though her term has technically ended on the foundation, she's going to continue and help on our finance committee. And again, that is so much like you, and thank you from me and all the trustees for your continuing involvement. Alice, one of the causes that we support, don't go away, madame. You're not done. One of the causes that we all support and feel passionately about, and Alice especially feels passionately about Denver kids. And so as we thought of what might be a suitable gift this year, we couldn't think as trustees of anything that would be more meaningful to you than a donation in your name to Denver kids. So please accept and thank you. Here is your past president's pin, which I know you will wear proudly. Thank you. I don't know if you heard that. She's so happy she didn't lose her diamond. She didn't want to give this one up because it has a diamond, but now she has another diamond. And thank you again for all this. Thank you. My fellow trustees and new trustees, you were introduced to about a month ago at the May 21 meeting, so we will not introduce them again. But I am very pleased and proud to announce that we have also elected a new trustee, Melinda Quiet. And of course, Melinda needs no introduction to any of you. She is fantastic. That's all you can say about her, and we're privileged to have her now on our board. I'd like to very briefly share with you a vision for the foundation. The foundation was founded 46 years ago in 1969, and it was funded initially by the wonderful work of Grant Wilkins and the Artist of America fundraiser for about 20 years, or exactly 20 years. And then Jim Wilkins, of course, continued and created a new fundraiser, the Branch Rickey event, of which we're all familiar. And that had a 20-plus year run as well. Our foundation has a corpus of over $3 million, which is amazing amongst the Rotary clubs of the world. And in the past 46 years has granted $5.6 million to local and worldwide causes. That is an amazing achievement. Our wonderful past president, Doug Jackson, and world humanitarian, always said when he was at this podium, we are the greatest Rotary Club in the world. In closing, the work we do at the foundation can be described, or at least remembered, I think, with 4 letter G's. Letter G. First, we gather funds. We gather. Thanks to your generosity, individually, the fundraisers, the new fundraiser that Valerie Hopkins is heading up that we're very excited about, the peach sale and so on. We gather funds, and we thank you for that. Secondly, we guard and we grow those funds. So we gather, we guard and grow, and Peter Tetstrom is the head of our finance committee and is charged with the guarding and the growing. And finally, in our triangle, and most importantly, I think, we grant. We grant that $5.6 million I described, and in this past year, we granted over $216,000 from your foundation to local and international causes. That was some 15 charities that we supported. And again, we can only do this with your help and support. So we gather, we guard and we grow, and we grant. And we can only do this with the guidance of our trustees, and again, your wonderful help and generosity. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Don't take my script. Thank you. Thanks, John. I know Andre is really looking forward to working with you this coming year. Well, I want to take just a few minutes, if you'll indulge me, to kind of do a summary of this year. It's been a wonderful year, and I have really appreciated being a part of this. We all recognize that we've been the largest and longest-standing club in our state and in our district, and that we are a very complicated club. So many committees, so many priorities, and so many wonderful local grantees. We know we must become more nimble to stay relevant, and I think Andre will carry that through, especially that word relevance. This requires good planning and an ability to change. Our strategic planning process, which you'll see the outline of right up here, reaffirmed our priorities of expanding membership, advancing fundraising, improving the visibility of our club and our projects, initiating new strategic partnerships, focusing our efforts in service projects, and it accentuated the need for the development of a value proposition that each of us could readily explain. We had some excellent team and individual efforts to achieve our goals this year. We as a whole are the ones who make a difference and can make those changes. We were not ready to make large changes this year, I found, but we learned a lot. Fundraising in this environment required some new tactics. The peach sale continued to be a great, steady fundraising event and a wonderful service opportunity for all of us. And thanks to the dedicated leadership of Charlie Miller, Allison Euler-Mitch, Valerie Hopkins and their team, the Branch Rickey Award continued to feed our foundation with resources for grantees. Now we're in the process of developing a new fundraising strategy to follow the success of that event. Our competition with the Rotary Club of San Diego, with Don Lewis' persistence and creativity, significantly increased our individual gifts from members, and we had fabulous growth in polio donations, thanks largely to Jim Johnson's own individual passion. Supporting the goal of visibility, our communications team made excellent advances through social media in particular. They now have a new logo about to be unveiled and a new tagline with it. At each club meeting, we have revealed more about our projects through our mission moments. With Todd Bacon's consistent individual help and high-quality photography, we had even more exposure through the Celebrate Our Service emails, and I know I love to get those every week. Thanks, Todd. And our World Community Service Committee had such a banner year for their work internationally. It's such a pleasure to see our mission unfold. We've learned so much in membership, and I've spoken to Mark so much about this. He's done a great job in this leadership, and we made distinct choices this year to focus on developing our core club and to continuing our support of the emerging professionals cohort rather than developing a satellite club like many other Rotary clubs have done. And I believe we're on the cusp of finding the right format, the right value proposition to attract those who sing our song of service. Think of the work of Sue Fox to align Rotary with Peace Corps. They are a strategic partner, and they have volunteers singing our song. We've attracted new members who harmonize right away, and we've also experienced the fact that some new members find that our current format just doesn't allow them to best express their passion, and they leave. They may be singing our song, but in a different key. I believe that we need to be singing our song in several different keys, and I think that this will come out in the future. And our top priority this year was to focus our local service projects. I know that word focus will come up a lot later, I guess. In particular, the grants we make to local agencies. In my opinion, focusing improves the effectiveness of how we fundraise, guides the relevance of our programs, simplifies the story of who we are and what we stand for, provides a platform for igniting passion in the potential members that we meet, and allows us to do our best work. We reaffirmed the target of our foundation mission, youth education, and we created new guidelines with our foundation to make the grant selection process more targeted. We've set the stage for next year's process with new steps to assess the impact of each of our current grants. Without measurement of our impact, we cannot truly celebrate the results of our efforts. We owe that to our donors, to our community, and to all of us as members. The foundation has a mission worthy of our work. This is the single flame we must use to light up Rotary. We still have lots of challenges ahead of us. We must continue to change to fit the new world of service engagement. So we developed a Futures Task Force that will continue by trying new formats for our meetings. And one of those is coming up on July 9th, which I hope you'll be able to attend. And these are to be sure that we attract new members, but also retain our current members. And this group will continue to define and illuminate our value proposition. Next slide. There it is. Paul Harris was right. Years ago, this is a challenging world. We must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will have to be written again and again. Well, there's only so much you can do in 1 year as a club president, but with the continuation of leadership through Andre, Christy, and their successors, I'm very hopeful that there will be enough ripples that change will be apparent. And now I have to tell you a little story. I was telling a friend recently that I was going to be past president of Rotary soon. He told me that I looked a little bit like a past U.S. president that visited Denver recently. And my reaction was, did I age that much during this year? Well, here's what I would say to that remark. If you join Rotary and engage in all it has to offer, there could be world peace. So. Maybe with the help of the Peace Corps. Now I'd like to invite Andre to come to the podium, and I have a few words of advice for you, Andre. Being club president is a rich learning experience. You'll become closer to your fellow Rotarians. You'll have a blast working on so many different aspects of this complicated club. And you're going to need to eat your Wheaties. As Michael Jordan once said, you better eat your Wheaties. And I've got some for Pelham as well. So. Anyway, thank you for your continuation of leadership for Club 31. Andre, I know that you're going to take this forward in spectacular fashion. Thank you all. So here is the president's pen.
All right.
With a diamond in it.
Man. We can do it together. Right. Thank you.
And also, besides the pin, you get a new gavel and a new badge.
Well,
The golden badge.
the golden badge. Thank you very much.
Use this gavel well.
I sure plan to. Just don't go away. Just a little, to tell you a little bit. I've got a little earpiece on. I'm not Secret Service, and I'm not expecting a call from Nancy. She's in the room. But this is how I communicate with my iPad, and I will know what I have to do next. And I will screw things up, and I'm comfortable screwing things up. So we will present Jim now with some thank you things. And Darlene will help me. And first of all, it's a plaque. And the plaque reads, with the gavel that he used this year to keep us all in order. So, Jim, thank you. One of our historical silver dollars, and with the four-way test, so that you never forget our guiding light. And your past president, Jim, Brad, golden badge. And the past president said, I'm not going to pin you in the interest of time, but there you go. And a gift certificate. Tim is an avid athlete, and so we hope he can go and get something to get himself out on the road and far away from us for a few days. Thank you. So, first duty I have to do is to welcome our brand new directors incoming, and Deb Demuth. If you please hold your applause, let's see how good you are at paying attention. So hold your applause until we announce them all. Deb Demuth, Warren Donder, Mary Penny, and Mary Penny. And that's it for the new incoming board. And Chris Peters, I'm sorry. Chris Peters is there too. So let's welcome them. So President-elect, so now my officers for the coming year is President-elect Christy Schaefer. Please stand up and hold your applause. And continuing as treasurer, we're going to have Sandy Purcell. Thank you very much, Sandy, for your continued service. And Diana Y is going to be our secretary. Diana is going to massage school, and she's learning to be a massage therapist. And she's going through a very intense learning process for the next 3 months. So we have some of our board members that have volunteered to help us be secretary for a month each until Diana can come and join us. And Will Snyder will continue to be our sergeant at arms, so thank you, Will, very much for your leadership. Deb Demuth is going to be our first vice president. Second VP is going to be Jim Johnston. And immediate past president, of course, is going to be, where's Jim? Okay. Jim. So let's welcome them all and thank them. Same thing now, I'm going to announce the committee chairs that are incoming, part of what we call the standing committees, and I like that idea. Maybe we should stand in our committees, make the meetings a lot shorter. They hold your applause to the end. So communications is going to be Lonnie Kendall. Julie Freshman for meetings. If you're here, please stand up. Membership. Membership is truly a crucial position. And if you have somebody who you know that you think is going to be a great chair for this committee, send me that name anonymously. I promise you I will not divulge with you. But I need to find the right person to chair this crucial committee for us, okay? So that will be determined. Paul Jones and Susan Brushaver are going to be for World Community Services. And I think that is, sorry? That's it then. Let's welcome them. And I did skip them. And for club fundraising events, for 2015 is going to be Valerie Hopkins. So Valerie is truly being a champion in this. It's a tough situation to be in, to lose our fabulous fundraiser that has helped us for 24 years as the Branch Rickey, and having to now reinvent this all in a year for the year. And she has had some very inspirational ideas for us. So, Valerie, thank you very much. Brian Geis is going to be a peach of a guy this year, and he's going to come back to help us with peach sales. So let's one more time give them a round of applause. Thank you. I believe, if I am following this correctly, that I get 5 minutes here to talk a little bit about the upcoming year. You know, and it's the first thing I want to do is to tell you I have great news to be a Rotarian this year, because I'm declaring a moratorium on death. We're not allowed to die. We're going to continue to be Rotarians. You know, it's relevance is what Jim talked about, and relevance is the direction that I feel is the word that should be our guiding force in the future. 600 members is what we used to be. And we worry so much about the number of how many members we have. You know, it's 34,000 Rotary clubs in the world. There's 1.2 million Rotarians. I just come back from the International Convention. It's an unbelievable experience. I don't think I would go there and choose it as the place to go to learn to be a Rotarian, because I think we do an outstanding job in our district conference and our president-elect PEN and PET conferences. But you come back from there and your heart pumps Rotary blue blood through your veins. It is unbelievable, the work that we're doing in the world. We're relevant there. But the problem is, when we are now at 280 members, I question our relevance. And that is a question we should all be asking ourselves. So I have been the chair of the program committee, some 12 years ago or something like that. And I've been a member of the program committee. And I look at how we have decided, how we have chosen our speakers. And we have picked them primarily for their entertainment value. We wanted to know and make sure that they're a good speaker, that they're good presenters, and that the message was a message of interest. And without insulting anybody, you know, it's having a speaker that comes and talks to us about the sinking of the Bismarck. I think it's fascinating. It's really interesting. In a mission to Mars, I mean, I don't know for how long I wanted to get somebody here from Ball Aerospace to come and talk to us. And Mission to Mars is truly interesting. And gold coin collecting and acupuncture. It's all stuff that interests me. But the question is it relevant? Is it the kind of talk that you are going to say, I'm willing to sacrifice 2 hours of my billing time, of my office time, of my phone time, to go and hear this at Rotary? And I know that many of us come to Rotary because of the camaraderie and the friendships and to be with our friends. But it's getting harder and harder in this highly communicated, highly responsive world to be away from our offices for 2 hours. So I'm going to be challenging us to get programs that are relevant. What are the headlines that are moving the world today, that are moving Denver today, that are affecting the way that we do business, that we live our lives? So when we hear from the chief of police and he says, you know what, we are rewarding the wrong thing in the police department. And we're rewarding the man that pulled the gun and got involved in a fight and survived it, instead of rewarding the man, the policeman, that does his beat day after day without drawing his gun. And we have to rethink that. And I think that that's the kind of message that we need to be hearing. We need to be hearing about obesity in our children. We need to be hearing about the available cash in our economy. We need to be hearing about education. But the things that will truly help us become better community members. I also have said in my ignorance that I felt that we were not very relevant in our giving. But that is because I'm ignorant. I was truly ignorant about the great work that our foundation is doing. But when I asked Nancy to write a check to give to our foundation, I was not able to truly explain to her how relevant our foundation is in helping our children, our youth in education in Denver, through Denver Kids, through RILA, through Rotary, through scholarships, through scholastic arts. And there's so much that we do to help the children that are not graduating at a high rate and convert them into groups of children that are graduating in the 80 and 90%. That is relevant. It's important. We need to get behind it. We need to be relevant in the way that we do business with each other. We were founded as a group of businessmen to help each other. And when I came to Rotary, I came for a very selfish reason. I wanted to get involved in the community and get to know the community people so that when I was in need of something, I would know that there was a Rotarian that I could trust that would help me resolve the issue. Whether it was something in politics or something about buying a new car or about putting a roof in my house, whatever it is, that I knew that there would be a Rotarian to help. So relevance is important in how we do business with each other, and we're going to have to find ways to do that. So I promise you that we are going to screw things up this year. We're going to mix it up. We're going to do a dinner event, and we're going to try it out. We're going to ask you for your input. We're going to do buffets instead of doing the plated lunch and see if that works. We will try to do things in 1 hour. We may do the Pledge of Allegiance at the end or at the beginning. We may not do the four-way test. I may do the four-way test, do only one of the four-way test things and do it at the end so that we leave here inspired by one part of our four-way test as we march forth for the week. We may try doing the program first, get the speaker to come first, and then do our Rotary stuff afterwards. And those that need to run can run. And I don't care how many people stay for that after stuff, as long as you come in and you get value in relevance out of what is happening in Rotary. And we have to have fun. We have to have fun. You know, and it's slightly inappropriate, but I heard about the two old guys sitting in the bar, and the one says, "Did you hear that elks mate 20 times a day during rutting season?" And the friend says, "Now you tell me I just became a Rotarian." So, you know, it's we can't laugh at ourselves and we can't have fun. And you know what? Correct me from the floor, and let's have a banter back and forth, and let's not take ourselves seriously, but be relevant. So thank you very much for listening. That is the direction we want to go for this year, and it is all about relevance. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to have Christy Schaefer and Allison to come up, and maybe we'll have some fun. Jim, at your expense.
So one of the pleasures, my last job as being past president, is to celebrate Jim's role this year. But of course, the challenge is I'm supposed to do it in rhyme. So thank you, Bob Kapelke and Darlene Mast, for your help with this. And so here I am, Focus 1.
Focus 2.
There once was a president named Jim who felt our club's focus was dim. With help from his board, he struck just the right chord. It soon became more than a whim.
Jim's mantra is all about focus, and he worked some great hocus pocus. So we scoured the town and we shopped all around for these glasses to keep him in focus.
Our President Jim's a trailblazer. His mind is as sharp as a razor. Using all of his might, he is brightened the light, staying focused, just like a bright laser.
Back at you. Okay. A strategic plan, that was his goal. His team was quite soon on a roll. When the work was begun, finding focus was fun. New thoughts were run up the flagpole.
Rotarians all supported this focus, even speakers giving polio crocus. But had Jim gone too far, becoming a czar, insisting we all drive a Ford Focus?
Did you see the dip? There you go, right there. This concept of focus is not new. RI has 6 areas to name a few. But with focused attention to push us in the right direction, next year's queued up for a breakthrough.
Roasting presidents is a Rotary tradition, with a focus on fun as our mission. Allison showed how shoes rule. What was Jim's 3-legged stool? And then Seth's lengthy email transmissions.
The Prez starts their year as a peacock, controlling the meetings with a stop clock. Members cheering them on till their next year dawns, to Feather Duster rejoining his flock. In conclusion, it is hard not to get sappy about a man who is healthy and snappy, positively optimistic, perhaps a wee bit mystic, counting the days till we're all happy. Yay, Jim. And I'd like to go ahead and invite everyone to please stand and join us in one last celebration as we watch to a final tribute of Jim.
Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. The love is too high, bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is you. Hey, I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Well, wow. You know, at the Rotary International Convention, one of the international board members, PT, a guy from India, told us there are 3 kinds of Rotarians: the good Rotarians, the dead Rotarians, and the deadly Rotarians. And if you're here today and you came for this meeting, you are the good Rotarians, okay? So thanks for being here today. You know, one of the things you don't know about me, my first name is Federico. And I'm going to steal from Federico Peña, our mayor. Not that I ever pretend to walk in his shoes, but he challenged us to imagine a great city. So I want to challenge us to imagine a relevant Rotary and work together towards it. It's going to be a long road, and we're going to try different things, and we're going to succeed. We're going to move forward. So as we conclude today, I would like to first congratulate again Julie and Sue for their outstanding leadership in Rotary and for truly making themselves relevant and helping make Denver Rotary a relevant club. So one more round of applause. I'd like to invite our newest members and their sponsors to please stand by the door so that you can greet Rotarians and say hello to them as they leave. So if you want to start getting towards the door, it's much appreciated. Now this is a test to see how much you pay attention, okay? Next week, July 2nd, we're going dark. That means there's no meeting here. Have a great holiday. Celebrate nicely. July 9th, we're going to be at a different time of the day. We're going to be at 5:30 up on the sun deck. It's instead of doing the traditional party where we pass the gavel and so on and so forth at a venue outside, we decided to combine it, save some money, and see if this works also. But we will have a tremendous and I think very relevant speaker in Dr. Moore. And I asked Jim to stay on stage to tell us a little bit about Dr. Moore.
Thanks, Andre. Many of you may know that the Supreme Court today handed out a decision that the Affordable Care Act would remain as is. This was sort of in anticipation that Keith Moore would be here to be with us to talk about this. And so what he will talk about, since there will be no change at that level, he'll talk about the tweaking of the Affordable Care Act that likely will happen over the next few years. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's very relevant, especially for those of you who run businesses or own your own businesses. He will be able to speak to that. So we'll look forward to that on July 9th.
Thank you, Jim. And with that, I want to wish you to go out and be truly safe, but also be relevant. I'm going to love this.